Hi, we're going to make deviled eggs today. And deviled eggs are a great part of a ketogenic diet because one, they're inexpensive, and two, they're easy to make. If you can boil water, you can pretty much make deviled eggs or egg salad. So I started with a dozen eggs and I just boiled them. Now, one of the keys to doing deviled eggs is that you want the eggs to peel, because you're going to make a filling and then you're going to stuff it back into the eggs. So that is one of the biggest challenges of making deviled eggs, is getting them to boil right and peel right. And we'll talk about some strategies for that as we go along. But I basically used put my water on to boil, get it hot, and then put my eggs in using a slotted spoon. And so I don't put the eggs in the water until it's boiling. And that helps them to, it helps it to peel nice and clean. Okay. It also helps to have fresh eggs. This is about 1.5 ounces of cream cheese, 1.5 to 2 ounces of cream cheese. Not everybody puts cream cheese in their deviled eggs, but I do. Now, we're gonna make a jalapeno popper deviled egg. When I mentioned this to my husband, his reaction was, jalapeno popper. Well, first I said, hey, do you want to try this recipe? And he's like, no thanks. And when I said I'm going to make it jalapeno popper, he's like, oh, okay, I'll try that. He doesn't really like deviled eggs, but he likes this. So I've got 12 eggs, just the yolks. I'm going to add, I added 1.5 to 2 ounces of cream cheese. I'm going to add about a half cup of mayonnaise. Now I'm using the Primal, the Thrive Market Primal mayo. I love it. It's made with avocado oil, and mayonnaise is usually really great on a low carb diet, unless you get something with sugar. Okay, so basically I had the yolks of 12 eggs. I added the 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, and I've added 1.5 to 2 ounces of cream cheese at room temperature. I'm going to add to this some mustard, and this is just plain mustard, prepared mustard, I think French's mustard, and it's about 1.5 teaspoons. I'm sorry, it is 1 tablespoon. It's 1 tablespoon. The other thing, when I put the mayonnaise in, I forgot to tell you, I did mention that it is Primal mayonnaise. It's made with avocado oil. Mayonnaise is usually pretty good on a low carb, high fat diet, unless you get the mayonnaise that has sugars. So some of the commercial mayonnaise will have sugars. If I don't use the Primal Market, the Thrive, then I do use I use Duke's, because Duke's is easy to find here in the South, and it's a good mayonnaise without sugar. It has soybean oil, which is not ideal. Soy can be a phytoestrogen. It can disrupt the hormone system, according to what I've read. Do your own research if you have questions about that, but I do try to avoid it for me and my family where possible. So this is a basic egg salad recipe. To this, I would add salt. And I have just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And this is how my mom would make it. So, except for the cream cheese, I add that. So basically you're looking at mayonnaise, mustard, and cream cheese. Mayonnaise, mustard, cream cheese, salt. That's it in the eggs. So at this point, you can take it and dollop into the eggs. To make our jalapeno popper style, remember we got the cream cheese as part of that, we're gonna add bacon. This is 3 tablespoons of chopped bacon. And my husband says, I don't know why you don't put 4. So you can put more than 3 tablespoons. In fact, maybe I should have. And then what I'm going to add to it is jalapenos. Now I took 2 jalapenos and seeded them. So I just chopped off the edges, put it in bacon fat. And I was very generous with the bacon fat, probably 2 tablespoons of bacon fat. And I just sauteed up that in a fairly low heat. It will burn if you do real high heat, but I sauteed it up. And the reason I did this was I wanted that bite of jalapeno, just a taste of it. I didn't want it too spicy. That's why I seeded it. If you want it spicier, you can leave the seeds in. But I didn't want anyone to bite into a piece of raw jalapeno. It can get crunchy. So I wanted it to be soft. And something about cooking the jalapeno just brings out a flavor. And I think that adding the bacon fat to the into the egg salad, into the egg salad, into the deviled egg, just really is nice. It gives it a great flavor, a depth of flavor that nobody would really think was there. And that's all there is to this recipe. Now, let me tell you, if you make this and your eggs don't come out quite right, really simple thing to do, and I'm gonna grab a fork, really simple thing to do is to chop up the whites and make it, just make egg salad. And so again, what I found that works really well for me is if the eggs come out of the fridge and they're relatively cold, drop them in the water once the water is hot, and then let them boil. Let them boil for about 10 minutes, turn it off. I don't plunge them in cold water. I don't usually have the gray ring as long as I stick to 10 minutes. Let them cool in the water. And then, I'm busy in the kitchen doing other stuff. When I finally get around to them, they usually peel like a dream for me. And again, if I have one that wants to act ugly, then I simply chop it up and throw it in here, and I'll do egg salad if there's a lot of them, or I will simply have one less egg on the table. And all you do now, and some people get fancy, they want to pipe it in. I'm not doing all that. There's still some, there we go. There's still some egg that I didn't get chopped well. You can do this in a blender too, but that's it. You just stuff the eggs, and then you can take them to the plate. Now I know you guys are going to take my Southern card away. I do have an egg plate, but I can't find it. They make these handy deviled egg plates that you put them in so they don't roll around. It keeps them still. I'll also say that with this recipe, you can pretty generously top them up with the filling. And then I like to take, I don't have it here, but I like to take paprika, smoked paprika or regular, and just sprinkle it over the top and enjoy it that way. Okay, let me see if I have one that's not very pretty. They're all kind of pretty. I'm gonna take this one, actually this one, because I didn't put a lot of filling on it. And I'll put a little more filling, and we're gonna try this one and see how it turned out. The jalapeno gives it a really good flavor. It's not spicy, and I'm not someone who likes jalapeno, but this with the bacon and the jalapeno is fantastic. If you don't wanna take the time to saute a fresh jalapeno, you can use canned. Just chop them up. And when I did the jalapeno, I chopped them really fine so that you would just get a little hint of flavor and it wouldn't be too much. This isn't at all spicy, and I can't wait to take this and share it with our extended family. I hope that if you make it with your family, that you enjoy it too.